guys can see who's talking. So, recapping last week, for anyone that didn't see it, and for all of you, you all got together for the very first time in the tent of the Ninth Army, one of the tents in the Ninth Army, while you were outside of the city Grey home that your army that you were a part of had currently been sieging for 56 days. You guys were sent into the city under disguise to scout out the city and to try to make sense of any weaknesses. Upon getting there, you realize that things may not be entirely as they seem, and the orcs and goblins that have been threatening the city, as told to you by Elenil and Torval, the commanders of the army that you were in, they didn't seem to exist. Meeting with a young boy, he introduced you to his father, Cain, and upon meeting him the day after and having him question you while you were there, recognizing you as soldiers of the Ninth, his son Ramus was killed, and a siege or an attack on the city was started. Seeing the Archmage Elenil blowing fireballs out of his fingertips on the field in front of the city, blowing parts and chunks of the wall to pieces. As you were rushed through the city, you could hear the screams of people around you. You could see buildings falling in front of you, quickly and frantically pushed into a small door into a room that was housing some refugees. You waited, and Cain eventually had come in and looked you dead in the face, anaphora, and had said, "Run and save the free cities," as you embraced him, his right arm completely lopped off, half of his face cleaved off, or a portion of his face cleaved off, and we begin episode 2. As you, Anaphora, you hold Cain in your arms, dying in your arms, that he just says, "Run! Save the free cities!"
Run to where?
And the cities. West. Ludan. And he looks at the guard that you had met as you first come in. You just briefly met, and Gotho had scared the other one off with a dead body. And he points at him and says, "You get the refugees out. Leave through the tunnels. Go. They're coming." And the guard
The tunnels.
The tunnels that you. This would be as you guys like. As he says that, the guard immediately nods, yes, and opens the door that Gotho had tried to get through. And you see just kind of like a dark, like a dark walkway that eventually goes into nothingness. There is nothing but black. Gotho, you can see down about 60 feet ahead of it that it looks like a damp and dirty tunnel that would lead somewhere to the coast.
Real quick, can Jody actually look at the body of the guy? Well, you said he was lopped off. The captain was, it would look like his arm had been lopped off. Is it cut off like with a blade, or is it been like magically burned off by the fire?
Well, give me a perception check.
Raining from the cities.
Give me a perception.
Perception check.
Yeah. You can tell it's a clean cut, but you wouldn't know. Yeah, you wouldn't know what weapon it would be from. It just looks like.
Okay, I'm not sticking around to find out either.
Yeah.
And then we're gone. All right. That's just how I roll.
No, hold on. I gotta get a couple test rolls into the chat here so they can actually see the rolls. Let me just.
You want me to roll like that perception?
Yeah, just give me that perception check like 5 times. Stuff, give me it 5 times. There you go. There you go. There you go.
I'm like squinting.
Keep going.
Really hard.
You're almost there. Oh, you're good.
Oh, whoa, dude! I critted on one of those. Can I use that one?
Can we use that one?
Can we use that one to tell how the guy's arm was cut off?
I don't think so. I don't. Let me consult the rule book. No, I'm kidding.
Can I? Okay.
You seem very perceptive.
I'm very perceptive.
He's like eyeballs into the arm at this point. What is it? What foul magic?
What fell beast?
As the soldier that was standing watch by the door, he says, "Come," and he starts to usher. He wasn't talking to you specifically. All of the refugees that were now just hiding and cowering, and as each thunderous boom across the city, you feel the ground shake, and some of them lose their step. But he ushers you to go first in front of them. Do you guys want to go first? You plunge into the tunnel.
We must help the refugees escape.
I agree. And
We're not going first.
Forward.
Gotho's standing still, scratching his head like he's thinking about something, but he's not saying anything.
Okay.
Something on your mind, Gotho? Quickly. Jody's like just shoving one person at a time down the tunnel. Like there's no light down there. He can't see anything. He doesn't have dark vision, but he's just go.
Gotho confused. We help enemy city now.
No. I don't believe that there's a fine line between enemies and friends, it would seem. It seems as though we're about to die. No matter what happens, I want to get the hell out of here.
Is there a window in the room that we can look out in the direction of like all the thunderous booming, etc.?
No. And as you're talking, another one closer, as you can hear footsteps, not outside, but you can hear them close by.
Whoa, those are footsteps?
No, those are not footsteps, but you can also hear footsteps. The crashing every single time. You can feel the whole city shake underneath the weight of what you would assume is what you saw out on the plains of the massive blue fireballs, 5 feet wide, just crashing into various buildings of the city.
Well, you can stay here and peel potatoes for them if you like. I jerk my head towards like the door where they're going to be coming through here in a minute.
Okay.
You can peel potatoes for them if you like. I'm going this way. And I dart into the tunnel with the rest of the refugees.
Okay.
There's a moment of hesitation where Gotho is like actually considering the potatoes. And then he like sort of realizes, oh, this must be sarcasm. and then he just like slowly ducks down into the tunnel.
Okay. As you pass by, the guard is still come, and he's ushering every couple people. He gives you a torch, or gives a torch to Jode. You end up grabbing a torch, and Gotho, you get a torch as well. And as people, you can just hear them all murmuring, screaming, children crying. The footsteps like echoing throughout the chamber as if, or as everyone's walking down, just kind of amplifying what you think might be, now hundreds of thousands of refugees. All you can hear are footsteps. As you guys are walking down, you all manage to meet up. You see Anaphora up ahead, and you quickly push a couple people aside. Some just kind of push up against the wall and mutter angrily as Gotho, you just walk by. You just kind of push everybody with your huge size. You even have to duck a little bit. That's how short the tunnel is. And you all meet up, a couple people from the front. What was that?
Sorry, no, I thought you were asking a question.
No.
Okay, so what if we stop that? So we're a couple people from the front. Can we see what's up ahead? Do we any longer hear are we away from the thunderous booms of the falling fireballs at this point? Have we moved far enough away from the city, or can we still hear that over our heads? Also, are we on a downward incline, or are we just kind of cutting straight along a flat path?
First off, another one. And the ground shakes slightly less. But, I mean, you're traveling under the city, and this would be where you would assume you're kind of like at a half point of the city, maybe soon to reach what you would know is the coast. You would all know that you're headed towards the coast. This is the only way this could lead. You're on a downward incline, and you're about 3 people from the front. Gotho, all you can see is just slightly, you look ahead, and you can see a small curve. And as you come around the curve, you can see another small curve. It's just tunnel, nothing but tunnel, rocks, branches sticking out, some pieces of cobblestone sticking out as if a building had sunk a little too far in. And with each slowly fading, the whole tunnel shakes. Less and less as you continue to walk, but dust falling upon all of you. You have to wipe it off your face. Eventually, you all push up to the front. You and Gotho, Jode, you and Gotho have torches. The lady behind you has torches. And where would you be, in the middle, or what's the marching order?
She's probably up at the front, kind of feeling out everything, seeing if there's anything that, I'm trying to just go quietly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Which direction are we heading? Can we tell which direction that we're going in?
Perception check?
At this point. Perception check?
Yeah.
I'm so perceptive.
You'd know that you're still heading south from knowing where you were on the continent and where the city Greyholm is. It's backed up against the southern shores. So you know you're heading south, but with all the twists and turns, it'd be hard to figure out where.
Okay. We know we're headed that general direction, though.
Yeah.
Okay, that cardinal direction. All right.
Yeah, the coast is south, and you know you're heading there. So, and as you guys walk, you can somewhat smell, like, not salt water in the air, but you can just kind of see the tunnel is getting a little more slick, and also it smells definitely different. It does smell a little bit like water from the ground itself, not like there's fresh air right around the corner. As you guys walk, just kind of forging through, there's no real obstacles in your path. It seems like it's decently maintained. There's definitely an escape route. You do recall, though, all the refugees in the room, but knowing through your scouting reports previously that there were refugees leaving the city on each time that they had opened the gates for those 2 hours that you had snuck into. As you guys walk and walk, it feels like an hour has passed. 2 hours have passed. Just dull to all the noise and all feeling. You guys are just continuing to walk. And
Fora's just kind of like grumbling to herself, getting a little bit agitated, like.
Who's in the back?
I'm probably the furthest one back at this point.
All right.
But I mean, none of us are like near the back of the refugees. But there's the three of us. I'm curious how many refugees are in the tunnel with us. Can we even tell?
Both you and Gotho.
Or is it just like as far back as we know?
Yeah, both you and Gotho, give me a perception check.
Okay. Boom.
Okay, you both. Wow, nice rolls. You both, for a moment, just thinking of how many refugees there are, you kind of like pick up back to your senses, and you can't hear any footsteps thundering throughout the tunnel now. Do you turn around?
Wait, do I turn around and there's nobody there?
I mean, you can turn around if you want to.
I would love to turn around and see if there's 200 people following me, please. That would be amazing.
There's a beholder. No. As you both swing around, there's nothing. There's nobody. The thunderous footsteps have disappeared. Your ears becoming numb to it all as you had walked on. Nothing. There's nobody behind you.
I guess it's too late to retcon it. I was gonna say Gotho's probably actually milling around in the middle of the crowd, but at this point it's too late.
Yeah.
So, I guess.
Did I miss something?
Gotho, I guess he's using both sense of smell and dark vision to like try and look beyond what a human would normally be able to see if they're like far back behind us or they're just completely gone.
Okay.
Real primal shit.
Some real primal shit is you can't see anything. You recall twists and bends, but again, your senses were just numb the entire time, feeling like you were walking for literal hours. Not the feeling, but almost as if you were walking for hours. Fora, are you turned around or no?
No. Fora is just she's
straight
still
ahead.
kind of foraging ahead.
Hey? Ho, hey.
But now she's kind of feeling around. She
Give me
she
a
wants to know if
perception
there's
check.
any kind of like weird smell or anything like that. So
Yeah, so you'd be looking at the walls and such, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. As you like go to really get a gather of your surroundings instead of just staring up ahead, you notice the walls are not tunnels and dirt and rocks and branches, cobblestone sticking out. It's a slick black ebony stone with tints of blue and white crystal running through cracks in the stones themselves. You don't feel any difference or change in the air, but it's not the same tunnel that you had entered, and you don't recall when you stepped into this different environment.
We're not getting the same.
What's up?
We're not getting the same like sensation of like being in a safe place like we were in the last magic tunnel we got stuck in, are we?
Well, you don't know it's a magic tunnel, but no, you're not getting the same sense. It doesn't, like I said, there's nothing different about the air. Like recalling the last time that you were thrown into something random, there's nothing different of the air. You don't have a warm and happy feeling.
Okay. The other time that we were suddenly in an underground tunnel.
Yeah.
And mysterious things happen.
It doesn't feel like the other one. Okay.
No.
So Gotho just kind of he turns and he looks directly at Jody Monet, and he's just like Gotho's
I'll
already
make fun of your words. No.
He's forced to hunch over because you said the tunnel wasn't tall enough for him, right? So he's kind of like hunched over. So when he turns to look at Jody, he literally puts his face like 1 inch away from Jody's face and like gets right up in his face. And if he doesn't back up, he just kind of sits there for a second and then says, "People are gone."
Yes. Jody just kind of keeps eye contact for a second and like not sure. I'm like Jody still isn't sure about Gotho. Gotho's picking up on things, but Gotho every once in a while makes statements like these where Jody is forced to like, you know, recalibrate his feelings and just, yes, they are gone. And just slowly drops to a knee to avoid any further intense eye contact with the Goliath.
Yeah.
And begins inspecting. I want to inspect the ground as though I want to look for tracks, any type of tracks or anything on the ground that can tell me whether other people have been through here recently or not too recently. I want to check out, you know, with the torch very closely because I don't have dark vision. I can't be scoping out the far ends of the tunnel.
The torch, the torch
really
definitely gives
inspect my immediate surroundings.
Yes, you both like because you both have torches. You guys have a wide area of sight from that. But you know, Gotho can definitely see further down. As you look down,
he's right. You know, I want to call out to Fora real quick. He's right. You know, they are gone because she's still facing the other way, right?
Yeah.
She still isn't.
When Gotho is also like when he sees Jody starting this investigation, he's like now copying him, looking around for clues.
You both like scuffing around or just inspecting whatever you might do to look for tracks or anything, a chip on the stone of anyone hitting their boots. There's nothing. The black stone in front of you is...
Does Fora notice that everyone's gone?
Have you turned around?
We just called out to you.
They just told you, but have you turned around?
Does she hear them? Is the better question.
You don't hear anything, no.
Nope. Then yeah, she just keeps going forward, like feeling out.
So we get no response after we get no response from Fora after a while.
I guess not.
Because we both stopped.
You guys
we
are
both
both
stopped,
on the
right?
ground,
We're inspecting,
looking.
Wait, can we not see her anymore?
I mean, you can, but you're both staring at the ground. Like you can stare at the ground, or you can stare up at Fora.
And there's still twists and turns going on in the tunnel, right? Like
it's
like
straight,
gentle twisting and turning.
It's straight.
When after a couple of seconds of no response from her, Gotho would turn and he would just yell. But like Gotho yelling is odd because it's extremely forceful and carries really far, but it's still a very deep voice. But it's just Fora echoing down the tunnel. as pretty much as loud as he can project.
You hear that from? I mean, how far would you say you're ahead, Fora?
I don't know, not too far. I think she would probably hear that though.
Yeah, you just hear it echoing, Fora, 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 Fora.
Fora.
And then she turns around and she yells, "Gotho?
Gotho,
where are you?"
Gotho.
So we're hearing echoing like she's really far away.
She's not really far. I'm just fucking around. She's like 20 to 30 feet in front of you. If you actually stood up and looked, if you actually like stood up and looked, instead of looking at the ground, like you can see her down there, but you guys can hear each other echoing. What I'm implying is the sound is reverberating across the walls. It's amplifying everything you say.
I would like to first off take the coin out of my pocket because it's still in that coin that I found in another tunnel that may or may not have been magic, and I want to inspect that coin real quick. Just kind of turn it over, almost like something to do with my hands while I'm just looking at this mystery that is this floor and this disappearing act by 500 or so refugees.
You wanted to make an Arcana check too?
I want to make an Arcana check real quick.
Or what?
See if I can recognize anything. Just see if there's sense anything in the walls and the floor and the stones, something. I want to see if there's anything magic about this place.
Give me an Arcana check. There you go. Okay. And as for the coin, as you pull it out of your pocket, it feels dull. It doesn't feel as the only way to describe it to that your character could understand. The only way your character would understand it is it doesn't feel as present anymore. Almost as if it's weak.
Almost like it's lost some of its life.
as if the coin itself was a person. It seems weak. It doesn't vibrate like it was before. You don't feel that vibration when you pull it out. And as you look, you look down at the stone, looking over the crystalline cracks that run through it. They glow and ebb with blue and white light. You can tell that you've never seen anything like this in your life. You've never seen ebony, and you've never seen or ebony stone. You've never seen.
Sorry,
you made me want to sing.
I know.
But the cracks, the crystal inside of them, you do get a sense of something from them, like they are holding everything together.
Now, I don't. Jody doesn't point out the coin because nobody else could really get what I'm feeling from the coin. So I'm not going to be like, my vibrating coin isn't. It doesn't have the pizzazz it used to. Like, I'm not going to bring that up. But I do want to point out something about the tunnel to everybody else.
Go ahead.
So I have to go find. But I'm going to stand up first, and we're going to go find Fora.
Yeah, you guys quickly.
She's still around here, Fora. And I continue down the tunnel to try to catch up with Fora, so we can all have a chat together.
She realizes that she's kind of a fur piece away from these guys, so she's just kind of stopped. Her hand is still on the wall, and she's just not moving.
Okay. You see them start to rush up. Gotho just kind of lumbering, and Jode looking just skeptical.
I dropped. Jody drops to one. Jody drops to one knee almost as soon as we approach. Look, in the rock, you see. And I get down at an angle and hold the torch really close, the way I had just a moment ago when inspecting the stone. I'm not sure if they can see it or not, but I can see. I can see the silvery lines running through underneath the ebony. This magical
I'll roll Arcana here.
Okay. Yeah, you two, as you look down at the crystalline cracks, you can all see them.
Something's not right here.
You get the same feeling.
Oh, it's almost like it's alive or something. It's amazing.
My coin's not working either.
What do you mean it's not working?
Never mind. This tunnel, though. The disappearing act on those refugees. How many do you think were with us? How did 200 refugees suddenly disappear?
Tens of hundreds. I mean, they were everywhere, and now we're alone?
Gotho's gonna come walking up at this point, except he's now bent over, and he's gotten tired of being forced to bend down because of the tunnel. So he strolls up to them, walking like a gorilla. He's just got his arms locked, and he has his legs bent, and he's just kind of on all fours and shuffles up next to them.
Okay.
And stares at the coin for a second, and
hey,
then looks up at her and says, "Wizards?"
Possibly.
Maybe.
Who's to know?
Gotho doesn't like wizards.
Yes, I share the same sentiment, my friend.
As do I.
Well, let's get out of here, I'd say. Step 1. Step 2, get some ale. Step 3, figure out who put us here and what they want. Does that sound like a plan?
We don't feel safe here, so yes, I think we should keep moving.
Are there any branching paths in the tunnel, or is it just the way we came and a way forward?
The way you came and the way forward.
Okay. So Gotho just points in both directions at once and says, backwards or forwards?
I honestly don't think it's a good idea to go backwards. I mean, that's only asking for more trouble, but I mean, we don't know what's forwards either, so... Nah,
refugees
I hate making decisions.
Were backwards.
You're right. Should we go back for the refugees? What has happened to them?
Weren't they following us?
Gotho's gonna look at the ground at this point and try to do a survival check and look for tracks, footprints. Has anyone else passed through here? Not necessarily the refugees, but anyone at all.
Okay. Give me a survival check.
Okay.
No tracks.
Sorry.
No tracks at all. Not a single. You notice that not even your feet can leave a mark on the ebony stone.
Okay. Usually, after all these rolls, Gotho doesn't say anything. But if that's the case, Gotho so the other two can see Gotho put his foot down forcefully, and then step off that spot, and then step down again a couple of times, verifying that he's not leaving any footprints. And then he just points down at his foot, expecting them to see what he's doing. And then
Jody quite quickly picks up on what he's basically. There is no footprints. Jody had already actually looked for footprints, hadn't been able to find any, and hadn't been able to find a scratch in the stone. I draw out my sword and stand back, stand well back, and I strike the actual stone on the ground with my sword.
Okay.
In an attempt to make any sort of a mark.
As it glances off, you bring it down, and your sword just whoosh, off of it and skids into the wall, slipping out of your hands.
That's not a good sign. Is there any mark whatsoever where I made contact?
Not a single mark.
I retrieve my sword.
Okay. You guys
now Gotha's scowling now. He's like his eyebrows have narrowed to the point where he looks visibly upset.
His eyebrows are almost connected at this point.
Well, actually, correction. He doesn't have eyebrows because he has no hair whatsoever. But like the bone structure on the top of his forehead is just like you can see.
So curled.
He's narrowing his eyes, sort of, and he just says, "Wizards."
Oh, Gotho, you really don't like wizards, do you? I can see how upset you are.
I can assure you both, I care for wizards even less. I scratch at the purple scarf next to my neck, where the burn scars show up over my throat.
Have they seen your scars, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
They would show if at a time like this, they would have seen my scars, yes, like around my neck. And every morning, they probably would have seen the ones on my throat, but not my chest. No.
Okay, gotcha. So you guys are familiar with them, but you see them, as he pulls down the scarf and scratches really quick. Have you guys? What are you guys doing right now? Like, how are you standing? Are you all just looking down at the ground, or are you looking around?
I'm guessing we're all probably in a kind of like little half moon circle, looking at what we were inspecting on the ground. Yeah.
Laura's kind of standing her ground on 2 feet here, just looking around, looking at both directions, and she wants to agree with Gotho and go back towards the refugees, but she also knows that there's danger, and she has this imminent sense of like protect yourself too.
Okay. Gotho's just squatting and leaning forward on both arms like a gorilla still, and just looking at the other two, like waiting to be told what to do.
As you turn around, Fora, to look again at the way that you were headed, with your dark vision, you can see 60 feet in front of you as you swing your head around. The passageway is still dead straight. Nothing has changed to the stone and the cracks. But on the right and the left wall, there are what you'd assume to be hundreds of doors. Just wooden doors, the same that you'd enter when you go into a tavern. Just stretching out.
Fora wants to go up to the closest door and knock on it.
Okay. They walk up.
Gotho's immediately following as she does this.
Give a quick knock. No answer. Nothing.
Hello?
Can I? Do we see this? Does
you all
Gotho
see
and
it,
Jody,
yes. As you guys all look the way that she's going, you see her walk
as
off.
Fora sees it, then we all notice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, is anyone here?
Is that really the best idea?
Well, you never know. Maybe someone went into this door over here, and that's where everyone went.
Gotho just walks forward about. You said they go on hundreds of doors, right? He walks forward about 7 or 8 doors.
Yeah.
And then he just grabs the doorknob of a random door on the left side and tries to push it or pull it.
Okay. You push with ease. You're immediately met with just loud sounds. It's almost like the silence that you've been in for the last 20 minutes to half an hour. The new sounds just assault your ear and your senses. You're immediately met with a familiar view, but you've seen this from another perspective.
My God.
You're met with a tavern. The bar in the middle. As you look through, you can see the familiar stairs going up and down. People laughing and drinking. And you're at the back of a very familiar tavern.
Oh my God.
Fora goes over to Gotho and says,
Gotho, don't you know you're supposed to knock for...
and then just like grabs her chest.
Gotho knocks on houses, not on tunnels.
Jody walks up to the door and looks through and seeing the same familiar scene that the other two are seeing. Just does a half step to the side and tries the door directly next to it.
Before, like, when he's about to do that, as he gets within arm's reach, Gotho, like, grabs him by the shoulder and pulls him, like, kind of, like, hugging him towards himself, and uses his other hand to point in, like, at the tavern.
Yeah.
And says, ale.
As you say that, you see...
I could use a drink.
You see a wench, a barmaid, walk by with a plate full of beers. And deliver them to a table.
Perception, does she have a barrel for a foot? Perception.
Roll me a perception check.
Does she have a barrel for a foot?
Roll me a perception check.
12!
She's got 2 feet, man. She's actually barefoot.
Not our wench. She's not our wench.
Oh, she's
this isn't the place.
Well,
I once again try the next door.
Okay, you try the next door. Open it up. The door crashes open. Same thing. The exact same sight.
Wait.
As the door crashes open, like the table next to you, kind of they stop, and they just kind of stare at you, puzzled.
So wait. I'm looking through the second door, the one I just opened.
Yep.
And it's the same room, but there's only one doorway in that room that I'm looking
same
through.
Room.
Right?
Exact same.
Okay, so then I'm gonna go back and look through the first door again to double check. And it's the same room, but if I was in the room, there would only be one doorway, right?
Exact
same doorway.
Okay.
I point this out to Gotho.
Okay.
Before, like, while you're getting ready to point it out, Gotho's already fiddling around in his bag, and he pulls out an unlit torch, and he just tosses it through the door.
Which door? Which door?
The only one that he has stood in front of.
Okay, the first. Okay, the
throw
door.
it on the
The
ground.
door that Gotho's at.
And it skids into the tavern.
He's trying to toss it into the tavern through the door.
You throw it in, skids on the ground. The barmaid, and she quickly walks over and looks. What are you doing? Why?
So she's looking through the door up at me.
She's looking at you. Yeah, she's talking to you, wondering why the fuck you threw a torch into a tavern.
Okay, so at this point, Gotho's now leaning his head through and looking down to see where is this door in the tavern.
You guys would know immediately. This is the back door of the tavern that Jode had tried to run into, thinking it was the crew's quarters, but instead hid under the table. This is where you'd think the kitchen was.
Okay, so
this is where we went. This is where we went down into the basement, into the magical place where I found the coin and yeah.
Right, so this door isn't in an odd spot, like it spontaneously appeared. This is like a consistent door, so the folks on the other side are not looking at us strangely, I guess, until Gotho threw the torch.
yeah, fuck that up.
So upon realizing that the door is roughly where it's supposed to be, Gotho just kind of accepts this to be, it's this door, and he just walks through.
He just walks through, yeah.
He just walks into the tavern.
The barmaid immediately, hello, why were you in there? Would you like some ale?
Gotho was looking for his torch.
In the closet. Please sit down. Don't cause a ruckus. I'll be back with some ale. And she just quickly jets off before you can say anything else.
Jody,
he literally sits in place as soon as she says that, just cross-legged on the floor.
You guys just see Gotho. Just sit down.
Or where are you? I'm curious. Are you still in the tunnel? Have you walked into the first door?
Sorry for the Skype noises.
Hello, Fora.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up, dude? Are you still in the tunnel looking through the first doorway?
Yes.
Or did you already walk?
She's just kind of standing there. She's looking at the first doorway. She came over and looked at the second one that Gotho had opened, and she's debating about whether or not she wants to go through.
Okay. Jode wants to step across the tunnel real quick and try a door on the opposite side.
Okay. As you turn around, whap! As you run into a wall covered in shelves, a shovel, rake, a couple brooms, a bucket falls off the shelf onto your head.
I turn back around immediately. What the devil? I turn back around.
Still there.
Wait, and I'm looking through the single doorway at Gotho, sitting on the floor of the tavern next to a burning torch, and I'm assuming
an unlit torch.
An unlit. Oh, now it's unlit.
No, she took the torch with her. She didn't throw it back at you. You're like
Okay,
as you immediately turn around, you are met with the same view. Forrest is kind of leaning up against the door frame after having tried others.
Still looking into the tavern.
Yeah.
But we're now in a closet, no longer in a tunnel.
As you look around, you realize this is a closet where the cleaning supplies are kept. At some point,
can they hear Fora if she talks to them?
You can try. You wouldn't know unless you do.
Okay.
I think this is a bad idea, and we shouldn't go in.
It's either that or stay in the closet. Jody comes out of the closet.
Yeah, as you look around at that Fora, realizing after you had gone and checked another door and looked around, fixated on Gotho sitting around, you look and you're now in a closet, Harry Potter style, living under the staircase.
Don't bring HP into this. I didn't do nothing.
You said you step into the tavern?
Yeah, he comes out of the closet.
Walk in. The sound hits you like of everyone just laughing and talking. It hits you even harder now, and you.
Jody is annoyed.
A Gotho sitting in the middle or the back of the middle of a tavern, and as you walk in, you hear footsteps coming up a stair. 1 2 1 2, and as you look over. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the bar. How are you doing today?
Yep. Well, Ivan, Igor.
It is Igor.
Whatever the hell your name is.
It has been a while. How are you?
It's definitely, this is Igor. Like, this, can I do an insight check to see if this is the same Igor?
Do an insight check.
I'm not kidding.
Do an insight check. Yeah. Igor.
Do I have advantage on my insight?
Beautiful beard and all, the scar on one of his arms, holding a big barrel of what you would assume to be mead or ale, and same voice.
Jody immediately crosses the room to him and just puts out a hand. Like I want to shake your damn hand, sir. Like, just puts out a hand.
Okay.
Igor, my fine friend, I would love to have a conversation with you.
He said, yes, my friend. What can I do? Oh, are the others, are they here with you? What was it? I did not catch your name.
My name is Jody Monet.
Yes, that is.
I turn back around, and at this point, is Forrest still just kind of kicking it in the closet in the back?
She's tiptoed into the closet and sort of just like looking out and peeking.
Yeah, she's there.
I believe you've already met Gotho, and I kind of nod towards Gotho.
He says, yes,
I'm going to let Forrest stay.
Take a chair, my friend. Please sit down. Welcome to Igor's. Thank you so much for coming by. We really need the business. It is so good to see you. And welcome to Igor's new tavern. It is good to see you. Please sit down, and before I answer questions, there was man asking for you by name.
Oh, what did this man look like? When I shook his hand, can I do an Arcana check as I made contact with his hand?
That's too late now.
It's too late now? Yeah. All right. Well, I was waiting for you to finish talking.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Right. You, like, what were you trying to sense?
Why I shook his hand was to do an Arcana check. Is that okay?
Yeah, what were you trying to sense?
If this motherfucker's magical, that's what I'm trying to sense, dude.
Okay, give me an insight check. All right. Sorry. Give me your Arcana check. I will let you make your Arcana check.
I appreciate. Well, yep. With advantage.
You don't sense anything, right? You're
okay.
Staring him deep in the eyes while you guys are talking.
So I just give him a good hard handshake, a hearty handshake.
As he's talking,
this fellow that was looking for me. By name, you said he knew my name, yes?
Yes, my friend. He said ask for, and he does like jazz hands from Jody Monet. He's sitting over there.
Well, that's me. I do jazz hands right back. I'm the guy.
Yes.
You said, I couldn't help but notice, you said this is your new tavern.
Yes.
How long have you had this place?
We've had it, I cannot remember. The details are fuzzy, but, old city, blown up, Igor just barely made it out, and, we make new Igors in Menengother.
At this point, Gotho rises to his feet and begins walking towards the window while they're talking.
Okay.
You said, where are we exactly? I'm sorry, my memory is also a bit fuzzy, my friend. Which city are we in?
My friend, the beautiful city of Menengother. It is slightly west.
Of course, Menengother. Yes, I shoot for a look, like a sidelong, what the fuck? Like, what?
Yes, It is city, not many have heard of it on Virhin, but good city. Nice, west, far away from a grey home. good place to be, away from those people that burned down Igor's tavern. And we even have sign. Sign works this time. It is good.
Oh, you got a new sign.
Yes.
I'm grateful. I'm good. That's glad. I'm glad for you.
But
Very nice.
Goto
man
strides
is
back
waiting.
across the room and he like puts his hands on Jody's shoulders while he's talking to like get his attention, like kind of shakes
Jody
him.
is nervous. It's like obviously nervous to go. Like immediately, like you can tell that I am shaken. Like Jody is shaken by this idea that we just walked hundreds of miles in a couple of hours. Apparently, I just kind of like a jolt
Laura
as you
is
put your
still
hand on my
nervously
shoulder.
peeking out from behind the closet.
Like Gotho's like shaking him in a like turn around and talk to me kind of manner.
Yeah, I look up. I look up into your
It is
face.
actually like slowly trying to physically turn you around if you're not turning around voluntarily. And then he points out at the window and says, "Town is not on fire."
Gotho, town is not the. I can't explain it either, Gotho. This is some evil wizardry. This is magic.
Gotho stares at Igor now, like
Yeah.
looks directly at him with kind of a dirty look, and furrows his brow, and is like, "Wizard."
No,
I don't
me?
think so.
My friend, no, I am. You speak.
Gotho.
Why
Gotho
were you in
takes a
closet?
step closer now, like he's physically imposing into Igor's space and looking down at him and saying, "Wizard."
Igor's not. How tall are you? You're like what? 7
Gotho's
feet?
like 8. He's like 8'4".
Okay,
or 8'5".
yeah, he's like a few heads under you. Like he's a tall dude himself, but a few heads, mind you, like 2 or 3. And he looks back up at you and, my friend, what is wrong? Would you like ale? I am sorry we did not give you a chance to get ale.
Jody at this moment it starts like he doesn't take his eyes off of Gotho and Igor, but he reaches by him, starts like clicking his fingers and frantically motioning for Fora to come over and assist, knowing that Fora has a way with Gotho that Jody lacks and can possibly help pull in his anger if he can't understand.
Yeah.
That this
Fora
is not a
just kind of
wizard.
rolls her eyes and just slips out of the closet and hopes no one sees her. And then just kind of makes her way over to the group.
Gotho, when Gotho walked over to the window and looked out was it like very evidently a completely different city with separate architecture, or did it look similar enough that he might not know the difference?
You would have just seen the back of the back of a building, as if you were looking out past the back of a building, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And off to the right would have been the coast, waves splashing in, a dock or two with a couple people working the lines on a boat. You would think water. There was water at Old Place. There's water here now. But there is
another.
I mean, you did look out the city. Yeah, you did look out the window of the previous tavern when you were upstairs, and it's not the same view that you remember of just another building directly in front of you and cobblestones with soldiers patrolling by.
Okay. Should I roll some determine if I can tell that I'm in a different city?
Yeah, go ahead. Give me a perception.
Does he just?
I mean, I'll say I'll allow this, even though if you walked away from the window. Thinking back on it as you're talking and looking at Igor, you get the feeling that something is awry. Something's not right.
Okay. Yeah. So Gotho's looking down at him, and he points like his index finger out at him, and kind of. He puts his finger on Igor's chest and pushes just hard enough to slightly imbalance him, but like not hard enough to like try and shove him over.
Okay.
But like enough to like kind of force him to lean back slightly because he's being pushed. And he says, "Gotho is not in same town."
Give me a strength
before.
check. As you reach out and you push, and he looks down at your finger, and you push against him. You can see like he flinches a small bit, but doesn't move. It's not like punching iron, but he's sturdy. It's like trying to move a tree.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, my friend, we are in Meningother. It is new town. I have to make new beginning. Igor needs to make money, my friend. So please sit down, buy ale. There is man waiting for you too, Gotho. He is waiting for all of you. He is sitting over in corner as he motions to the front of the tavern.
Okay.
Why didn't you say that in the first place?
I did,
Jody
but you called
immediately just
over
kind
big
of
friend.
ducks- I duck past Igor at this point and move towards the man he is motioned towards.
Yeah. You don't know what he looks like. He's just motioned, just motioned towards the front of the tavern. You can move over there and try and see if anyone's at a place.
I walk to the front of the tavern. Right. I draw my sword and I plant it in the floor, in the planks.
Okay.
And I say, "My name is Jode Monet, and someone here knows me and wishes to speak with me. Who are you? What do you look like?"
The whole tavern is just, and you just hear from like your right. You just hear, "Sit down at another table, and you'll be spoken to when I deem it necessary." What do you do?
No takers, then. All right. I try to just play the whole thing off, realizing that I've been a bit of a hasty ass. I sheathe my sword, and I sit at a table by myself and begin to sulk.
Would Gotho have been able to hear that other guy?
Oh yeah, you guys. You can kind of like hear it. You would have heard someone speaking, but no one, like, no, what's the word? Discernible words. As he sits down,
Jody motions for the two to join him.
Yeah, and Igor's, my friends, go, please sit down. I will call the Venge. Okay, she is bringing ale. She will come, and you will get drinks and be merry. And as he goes to like turn away and go back to whatever he was doing, he's still, kind of holding the or the barrel of meat is down by his side now. You see him, Gotho, shoot like a fleeting look of disgust over at the man as he just walks away. Do you guys want to go join Jode?
Gotho is not that subtle, so he would like look at the direction that Igor was just looking to like determine which man it was, and instead he like strides right next to that guy and just stands next to him.
Okay.
Fora just goes over and sits down next to Jody.
Okay.
She looks pretty disapproving at the whole thing.
Yeah. You kind of like, you can make out Gotho like who he's talking about. There's one man sitting alone, kind of has a black robe on. As you approach him, the hood is kind of up but partially off, and you're met with like a very fair-skinned man. Looks to be early 30s. Perfect skin, perfect brown and black hair. And as he doesn't even meet your eyes as you stand in front of or nearby him, as his back is against the wall. He's, "Gotho, I realize it may be confusing, but join your friends."
A wizard?
No, I am not. But go sit down.
Like Gotho's shoulders basically release, like they're tensed up while he's talking, and then when he says no, Gotho just accepts that and is like, "Oh, okay." And then like his shoulders return to this more default, relaxed posture.
Yeah,
and he just sits down next to Jody immediately.
Okay. And you walk across the tavern. You sit there. The wench comes up and, "Hi, sorry," and she just kind of like puts the drinks down on the table, just really roughly, like ale spilling out of them. "Hi, was there anything else you needed? Mutton?
Bread. Bring us some bread.
Bread?
That would be amazing."
Okay.
Yes.
Do you, and she like, do you know where the bread is? It's my first day.
It's in the back. It's in the closet. I point towards the closet where we came from.
She just kind of like,
you go through there, take a left, and walk for a couple of hours. You should find it just fine.
She just gives you like a quizzical look. Oh man! And she
Jody is not amused by the whole situation.
Okay, and she just like she walks over to the closet and she just gets frustrated and immediately walks over to the bar. You see her and Igor talking and laughing, and as you're looking at her and Igor, you see the man that had told you to sit down and the man that Gotho had approached walk by the bar. And again, you now notice just a brief, like, extreme look of disgust as Igor turns and sees the man walk by. He's still maintaining the conversation with the barmaid. And the man walks up to the table and says, "I'm sorry for the delay, but it was necessary. We're being watched."
What's your name?
Does Fora hear this as well? I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah, you're all at the
We're
table.
all-
He's
we're
sitting
all
at.
right
He's
there.
now
Okay,
come,
so we all
pulled out a
can
chair,
hear.
sat down
I
with
wasn't
you.
sure if he was just directing that towards Jody
No.
Monet or not.
Every time I hear his name, it makes me fucking laugh.
Jody Monet.
Jody Monet,
Joe
jazz hands. All I can think of is the fan art that we got. The jazz hands.
Jazz hands. That was the best. I laughed so hard when I saw that. Anyway.
And yeah, you asked what his name is. He says, "You may call me Kel." And
Do I recognize that name? Do I like in any type of history, local history, anything like that? Any mention? Can I recall that name ever being associated with magic in any way or anything?
give me
In my memory banks.
Yeah.
Do.
give me a
I
history
know this
check.
guy's name. History check. All right.
Okay.
I know this guy.
I know this guy. We went to
I
school
know this guy.
in third grade. As you guys, you think immediately as you hear the word Kel, Kellan. You had served under one in the army for a brief time. Kelt, the gnome that had sacrificed himself at Glyn. Kel, the moon Kellamvor. Keltak, a man that a trader you'd met. That's really all that you can
Basically
think
a
of.
bunch of really shitty dudes, right? Like all named Kel or some variation of that, right?
Whatever your opinions on them would be, yeah.
Was that a Whatever. So, but Kel, he said you may call me Kel, right? Not that's my name.
Yes, he said you may call me Kel.
Well then, Kel, it would be rude of you to stand while we three sit. I motion towards the fourth chair at the table.
He takes the chair and sits down and rubs his hands together. Just the one hand. No, rubs both of his hands together. Now, as I said, we're being watched, and we don't have.
Bye.
Gotho perks up like his posture to where he's intentionally stretching up higher than everyone else, and is now just scanning around the room.
Yeah.
like except he's looking like at the other patrons.
Yeah,
like one of them
he sees
is the
this
responsible
immediately
party.
and catches on. Don't worry, my friend. They won't find you in here, but they're outside. There are many from the hand in many cities across Virhin. They were tracking you through the refugee passages, and now they've lost you.
Then why are we whispering?
I like secrecy.
I like secret things.
Can I ask him loudly, what is secrecy?
He didn't actually say secrecy, just to clarify.
What is love?
It's just like a smirk flits across his face and says, I guess now that you have made our presence aware, I won't whisper, I won't dally, we don't have much time. You are being watched, you're being followed, and they will find you. And as he did mention the hand, and you guys know the hand as the group of assassins. The name had been changed. Sorry for not telling you. It was changed from the Titty Sprinkle Binkle Boppers to the hand, and you're now.
We knew that. We knew that. We knew that.
This is the elite like group of assassins that serves directly under.
This is like Ra's al Ghul shit. All right.
Directly under Emperor Tennyson, the Emperor of Seria, who controls the 9th Army that you were in.
So the guy that led us on this expedition through Glyn, the siege at Greyholm, his now elite assassins are after us, and
that
they
was
know us by
Torval,
name.
Commander Torval. Emperor Tennyson
right.
is the emperor back
Is the guy
in
that sent Torval?
Dornfall.
right?
Yes, and you.
Okay. So the guy over him. So.
It's known to you guys again.
Right.
We had talked about this, but you know them as friends, right? Tennyson and Torval were both friends and had served in the munition wars years and years ago. And he just says, I will tell you what you want, how you can defeat them, how you can kill them. They are mortal men. They are not anything but lapdogs. of an ancient time.
Why would you tell us all this? Why would you help us in this thing? You call us friends.
Why are you trusting us so easily? We don't even trust you.
And he says, always an even trade.
And his mic cuts out.
Oh, sorry. I said always an even trade. I thought it cut out, but I didn't know. He says, always an even trade. And he looks at you directly for and says, I want you to show me the compassion of people that have seen a city crumble and fulfill a man's dying wish.
Are you the man dying?
Hopefully not too soon.
You will be in a minute if you don't start making more sense. For someone that says we don't have much time, you're speaking in riddles. Compassion.
Did you not see a boy yesterday crumble to ash? Did you not hold a man dying in your arms?
Gotho saw a boy.
Shut up, Gotho.
And he immediately looks at Gotho.
Did you actually say that?
I actually said that. Actually, like knee-jerk reaction. Jody's like, "Shut up, Gotho."
Because
at this point, I have no trust for this guy that we're talking to.
Gotho turns and looks at you, but it's like this is the first time he's actually looked annoyed at you.
I completely just accept the annoyance because at this point I know that if Gotho wants to harm me, there's nothing I can really do to stop it. So I'm just kind of accept it. If he thinks I'm annoying, it's gonna happen.
He looks at Gotho and says, I sense distrust in you, Gotho, and I know you are confused. Following a path of others is not a worthy one.
Gotho has no path of his own.
But one day you will find one. And as he says that, he nods down to your
looking for one.
He nods down to your green fist, the green tint to your arm scaling up your forearm. As he says he will find one.
Gotho kind of looks down at his discolored hand and then looks back at him and says, Gotho is not looking for one.
Well, some of us cannot control our fates.
And some of us are horrible with riddles.
I do not speak in riddles.
I would love to find a path out of this bar.
You have yet to ask me.
Are you doing that to his hand?
Wait, what?
Is he doing that to Gotho?
Can we
he didn't do anything. Okay. You guys know that Gotho's hand has always been green.
What?
What?
Back in our initial introduction.
Now wait a fucking minute.
Okay, so initial introductions way back when, you guys might have forgot, but a couple odd things that are out of the ordinary for a Goliath. Gotho's eyes are colored mismatched, like he has a brown one and a red one. His hands are mismatched, like one of his hands is green and most of the rest of his body is pale white. And then he's got splotches of like tanned color on his neck and part of his abdomen and on his upper right arm. Like the skin doesn't match the rest of his body.
There you have it.
And because and you don't wear like a shirt, do you? Like you're a monk.
He's naked all the time, dude.
No,
he's not naked all the time.
No,
he's wearing brown cloth pants, and that's it. So
yeah, that's why I thought you were just wearing cloth pants. Yeah, so we can. It's very noticeable, basically.
It's quite plainly visible. Yes.
Okay.
And the green versus white is like it's a stark enough difference that when he's sitting there like with his hands on the table, it's literally impossible to miss.
Yeah.
So,
unless you just didn't know about it.
What do you think?
Sorry. I'm really sorry. I forgot. El was like, is he doing that to him? No, okay.
As you guys are looking at each other, Kel turns to Euphora and says, fulfill the wish of a dying man. You stand in Menengotha, week's walk from the coast, and you will find the refugees from the city have made it out of Greyholm. You will find they will arrive here as they are headed here. Greyholm has been sending troops and refugees and supplies to Menengotha, and they have a refugee camp outside of the city. And he looks at all of you now and says, "A dying wish is not one to be trifled with. I would know this."
Still don't believe you are dying.
I am not dying.
Gotho cocks his head to one side and says, "Wishes do not die."
Indeed, my friend. Just like a quiz look comes across his face. And he says to you again, he says, I will reach out. Not again, we will not speak. But the first step is in Menengotha. And if you are looking for a cause to stop the destruction that had happened in Greyholm, you will find a new light and beginning here. I will make my mark. Hold on. Says, I will make my mark known soon. But do not let another city befall what Greyholm has.
What do you know of those that destroyed Greyholm?
They are here on deceit and lies. The 9th of Emperor Tanizin, led by Emperor Torval, you met but days ago for the first time, truly in a tent. I know these things.
How do you know these things? Only a man of spy-like reflexes and riddles and trickery would know such things. How can we trust such a man?
Because I am providing you with revenge, with answers, and with purpose. And he looks at you, Gotho, as he says purpose.
You throw ale into the bargain, and I think you might have yourself a crew.
Gotho does not seek revenge.
Fair enough. You will not work for me. I am merely here. I do not have much time. But I am truly sorry that you have been noticed in the way that you have been.
For a man with little time, you say a lot of things.
Well, the man burned by fire won't stop questioning me.
The man burned by fire?
That would be...
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Gotha just stares directly at the obvious burn marks on Jody.
I ignore Gotho. Just bore holes into this dude into Kel with my eyes.
And as he slowly starts to stand up, rights his robe, and again looks at you four and says, "You will find a mark in the coming weeks, in the coming days, perhaps. And I advise you to hold it, to preserve it. I will influence where I can, but I must go now." And he walks away.
Has he already gotten up yet?
I mean, he was getting up and he's like writing himself as he's saying it.
One last thing, my friend.
Yes.
I pulled a coin out of my pocket and I put it face up on the table and I slowly slide it across to him.
Yeah. He doesn't.
What does this mean to you?
He looks down at it and says, "Again, I am sorry you have been noticed," and walks away. You see him kind of skirt past the bar, and "Thank you, Igor. It's good to see you," and walks out the front door. What do you guys want to do?
I want to call Igor over.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but I do not trust him.
I don't think that Igor likes him either. See if we can find out more information before we make a move.
I could use some ale myself.
I'm there with you, my friend.
Um,
Igor, 3 ales. Make them strong.
Says, yes,
Hopefully
yes,
that
my
wench
friend.
is quick on her feet.
I will be right over. I will be right with you. And he quickly goes, Bench! Flee! and starts to walk over to you. And he sits down at the table and he says, my friends, I have but a brief moment. There are many patrons in Igor's Tavern tonight. And he kind of has like a slick grin. We are making good business, which is good. We need the business. I trust that the man was kind. I have known him not to be the best at times.
How do you know him?
A wizard?
and as you say, as you ask if he's a wizard, I cannot say he is man. He is not wizard. Maybe used to be, but he is not anymore. And
is he a man?
Are any of us men? Could we be men? Are you a man? You are a big man.
I'm
Yes.
invasive.
I see, my friend. I see. You are not man. You're big man. Almost as big as Igor, or bigger than Igor. As the barmaid kind of comes over and takes your guys' drinks that you may or may not have drank. Have you guys drank any of the ale at all?
Oh yeah.
No.
Jody is well.
I'd assume you're
polished
just
off his
packing
ale.
it down, and he looks up
Yeah,
at her and
yeah.
says, "You will be sorely missed. I will miss you, what is your name?" And she just quickly and walks away, and you hear her just, "Can't back to the blacksmith tomorrow. I can't do this." Kind of shrugs as he looks back at. It is okay. It is okay. I hope that the man was not too mean to you, and hope that you will not stop by, or you will stop by Igor's Tavern in the future.
Oh, I'm sure we'll find our way back one way or another.
Fora has just been holding her drink the entire time,
Yeah.
just looking around.
Goto has a mug in his hand too, but he's not once ever put it up to his mouth. He's just holding it like he doesn't know what to do with it.
It doesn't even have anything in it.
As you guys are talking with Igor, as you're all drinking or not drinking or holding the drink up to your mouth, Igor, he immediately looks troubled. Just a quick flash, nothing more than a flash of discomfort, something troubling him, and as it flits across his face, you hear a high-pitched, shrieking, bloodied scream of a woman in the night.